The history of J_C_D dynasty. The history of J_C_D, more formally known as Underdash, is a complicated yet intriguing tale. What started out as a tribe on loyal follows, to the expansion of a global empire, and the fall of mistrust and deceit. Not much is known about this period of time, so we'll just make things up as I go along. To minimize the confusion of this web of speculation, I've broken the dynasty into 4 years. The rise and conquest, how the J_C_D dynasty began, and how its impact shaped the future. The Golden Era, an era of peace and prosperity within a stable empire. The Fall, a time of anarchy and exploitation. The division of the empire, and how warring factions formed. The Wipeout, the end of the dynasty, the end of the bloodline of the royal family.
Parte 1. The Rise and Conquest.
Before there was an empire and group of tribes known as Jan, Khan, and Don roamed nomadically across the land in the continent of B2 Cause. After some time had passed, each tribe set up along the same river, the Umbral River. The tribes did not trade and communicate. But after living separately for 400 years, the tribes were forced to join up and take arms against the Image.0 Empire. This empire had been terrorizing the 3 tribes for many years, and they knew they could not fight alone. The Image.0 Empire was a real tank, boasting a 500,000-man army and 2 elephants. The tribes could not compare to that might. Each tribe roughly had 15,000 at most and no elephants. To help fight against this empire, representatives from the 3 tribes, Momotre from John, Cotton 89 from Khan, and from Don. These 2 met in the common land of tribes and made a deal. They would join together and become one. With the merge success, the leaders met up to figure out a new name for the tribes. They settled on a name that would ring out for centuries to come, the infamous J_C_D. With the merger of these tribes, the army grew and morale was high. People were excited to finally take down Image.0, going as far as to try and steal the empire's 2 elephants. The rulers condemned these ignorant slurs. The J_C_D empire, as it was known, was still too weak to fight Image.0, boasting a rather small 60,000 strong army. The J_C_D empire knew it had to grow and expand, so the rulers began to conquer smaller, less powerful tribes to the south of the Image.0 empire. After 50 years of conquest, all the land around the Umbral River was either ruled by J_C_D, or Image.0. The Image.0 empire did not recognize J_C_D's rising power, and still saw them as a weak nation that could be conquered easily. In the year 1094, after 30 years of neutrality between the 2 powerful empires, something snapped. J_C_D had invaded one drive, a prominent trading port on the Umbral River. Image.0, still blind to J_C_D's power, was slow to respond, leading to the capture of one drive. Now in their enemy's territory, the empire quickly captured 3 other big cities: Digress, a popular farming town; Melody, another port city; and Mood, a big city only 50 miles from the capital. J_C_D had pushed deep into Image.0's territory, which led to the Image.0 mobilizing their army, which had grown weak. The army had lost much of its former prowess, and several battles took place, cementing the fall of the Image.0. The final battle took place only 4 years after the war began in the capital city of number equals 2. This was Image.0's final chance to make a comeback. The last remaining town folks and soldiers who had not fled helped to fortify the city for its last stand. They either held back J_C_D, or died trying. Led by Ishvi Cannon, the J_C_D took the city and finally wiped out the Image.0 empire. Ishvi was hero and elected ruler of the J_C_D empire, which had now controlled the entire continent of B2 Cause, nearly 100,000 square miles. With the continent unified under one ruler, this began the next phase of the J_C_D dynasty.